Black bean burgers served on an open-faced toast with a delicious salad. We're using what's in the pantry. We're making it work. It's coming up on the Last Minute Cook. Hi, I'm Deborah. You're watching the Last Minute Cook, where I share delicious recipes that are quick so that you can make dinner at the last minute and feel good about what you're serving. If you're new here, consider subscribing. If you like this video, definitely give me a thumbs up, and I would love to hear from you in the comments section. Okay, today we are making black bean burgers. I am working with what I've got in my pantry, as is probably a lot of our fellow Americans. Groceries are not just the easiest to come by. So I thought, let's make something that's a little bit easier that might be in our pantry. So I'm doing some black bean burgers, and this is a recipe that I use a lot and feed my family a lot. My kids like it, the husband likes it, and it's easy to keep, black beans on hand. So for this recipe, I'm using 2 cans of black beans, and I will tell you, you can cut this in half if you're making this for 1 or 2. I just like to make a lot and have leftovers for the next day. Just makes it a little bit easier for all the meal prep. So for this black bean burger recipe, 2 cans of black beans, and we are going to use quinoa. And if you don't have quinoa in your pantry, don't fret. I think you can probably skip this, but I wanted to use it with y'all because I actually have come to start loving quinoa. It's been a kind of staple in our diet since we have made some massive health changes in our household. And I actually like to keep pre-made quinoa in the fridge to pull from kind of regularly, and I'll show you that. But if you can get your hands on some quinoa or get that ordered, I definitely recommend it. There's so much you can do with it, and it's a healthy seed. It's a complete protein. I'm not going to go into too much of a lecture, but I think everybody should give it a shot. I used to turn my nose up at the idea, and I can't believe I ever did that. Okay, we are also going to be using some garlic powder. If you don't have fresh garlic, and oregano, dried oregano, and about a 1/4 cup of tomato sauce or some tomato paste is good. I have even substituted ketchup in these black bean burgers for the kids, but I think if you're that desperate for that tomato flavor at the end, if you don't have tomato sauce, you could maybe top these for the kids with tomato sauce or ketchup. But let's go with what we've got. So 2 cans of our black beans, drained and rinsed. We want to get out as much of the liquid as possible because otherwise they're really hard to stay formed when we're forming them. We want them a little bit drier. So drained and rinsed cans of black beans. And we're going to go with almost, I would say about 1.5 cups of the quinoa. Before we pour that in though, let's get our beans mashed up. So we're going to mash up our beans. You can do this in a food processor. You can do it by hand. But I've also made the mistake of adding all of my ingredients to my beans prior to mashing my beans. And for some reason, it's a lot harder to get them mashed. Get this all mashed up. Okay, while you're doing this step, definitely have your oven being preheated to 400 degrees. And get as soon as you're done mixing all this, you'll have your baking pan lined with either parchment paper. I use this. I've not tried it on aluminum foil, but I'm sure it would be fine. But just have everything ready and your oven preheated to 400 so that you don't have to wait. Can you see that? Nice and mashed. Now, had I done that with all the ingredients, it wouldn't work. I don't understand the physics behind that. That's strange, but it doesn't. So now we're going to put in our quinoa. With the 2 cans, I'm using about 2 cups of quinoa. And again, you can cut all that in half. And then I'm going to throw in about a tablespoon or so of, I'm using my hands because we're going to be cooking this, of garlic powder because I'm using the 2 cans. I probably wouldn't go heavier than a tablespoon. Might be kind of strong. And then oregano. just about, I just kind of eyeball it really. Okay. Oregano is pretty strong, so if you don't want a heavy oregano flavor, maybe just about a half a tablespoon. Okay, then we're gonna mix all that up. We're also gonna add one more little ingredient here just to make sure we get a nice texture. I am going to have to use my hands on this, which I could also use my mixer, but this is such a quick and easy. Our breadcrumbs. So I use whatever breadcrumbs that I happen to have on hand. You can skip the breadcrumbs. You don't have to have them if you don't have them in your pantry. You can still make this. Right now I have panko. I've used whole wheat, whatever breadcrumbs that I happen to have. It just helps absorb the moisture and give it a good texture. So, but it's not the end of the world if you don't have them. I'm just gonna this is probably gonna be about a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna form these into patties, and while these are cooking, we're gonna be doing something else. So I've just formed them into patties, as you can see, and I'm gonna put them in the oven at 400 on my little parchment paper for 15 minutes. Okay, now while those are cooking, I also wanna have in my oven at the same time some, if you happen to have on hand, if you can get these at your grocery store, any kind of peppers. These, you've seen these, they're snackables. Like, you're supposed to be able to just eat them right out of there, but I like to roast them in the oven, like 375. Just put them whole. They're sweet, and they go deliciously with any kind of sandwich that you're serving. They're delicious. So we're gonna roast these. I've got the oven, my other oven, I can put these right in there with my black bean burgers at 400. I think that would be fine. Or if you have another oven, you can throw it in at like a 375, but I don't think the temperature is that important. I've cooked these anywhere between 350 and 400, and I never remember what I did last. But I just keep my eye on them, and when they start looking cooked and they get the little black kind of blisters, ooh, they're so good, and then they're ready. So let's get those in. Okay, for our salad that we're serving with the black bean burgers, starting with just some mixed greens, and I realize that is fresh produce, and if you can get the mixed greens, definitely be getting your salad in if you can. I just like to think, and I've learned this from reading this book by Dr. Greger, the How Not to Die book, which if you haven't seen that or heard of it, I'm going to put a link below so that you can at least see what that's about. Beautifully written, lots of information on upping your nutritional value to boost up that immune system. So mixed greens and lots of color is what we want to think. How can we have lots of color on our plate? So one of my favorite salads that I make is using the dried blueberries. There's that good antioxidant power in there. Some diced purple onion. It gives it a nice kick. And the pine nuts. I love the combination of the pine nuts with the dried blueberries and the red onion. They go together so beautifully. And the red onion, I kind of like to just keep a little bit chopped and ready to go in my refrigerator, or at least just keep it in there because it actually lasts a while and it doesn't take too much, and it gives you the good nutritional value. So the pine nuts, which pine nuts are expensive, so I kind of try to go a little sparingly on those, but pine nuts are great to keep on hand because you can make your own dips, your own pesto, all kinds of things that you can do. So pine nuts are good to have on hand. That purple onion gives that nice spicy kick. And then to balance that spicy kick and throw in that extra nutritional value, the sweet, dried, wild-caught blueberries, the organic chia seeds. They come in such a big bulk. They last because you only need a little bit, like a tablespoon. So I don't have a spoon, so I'm just gonna pour right in there. Just a dash. I wait for the chia seeds to last, as the last ingredient to add, because they do take up the moisture. And I don't dress the salad until I'm ready to serve it. Otherwise, you're gonna have like jelly chia seeds because they expand like a gel. So I will be topping this salad with apple cider vinegar. This is an organic one with the mother. Any of the brands, I've tried the Bragg's, they're all good. And when I use the apple cider vinegar, y'all, I don't even need oil. But if you don't have a fat source, like some kind of nut, you do want to add a little bit of oil because, again, we want to bring in those fat-soluble vitamins. We want to be able to have our body absorb those. So you need some fat source in your salad. My dressing is going to be just this by itself. Really good. It is really good with the pine nuts and the blueberry and that red onion. So that's our salad. And then we're going to check on our peppers and our burgers. Okay, everything's out of the oven. And again, regarding the 15 minutes at the 400 for the black bean burgers, that's not really a hard and fast rule. I've let them go upwards of 20 minutes. I just kind of look at it and see if you feel like they're ready or not. I mean, it's black beans and the quinoa's already cooked. There's not a lot of stress in that, but you want to make sure they're nice and baked together. So the sweet peppers are ready and the black bean burgers are ready. And I can't really pick this up because it's hot, so I will show you what I've got going on. I have a piece of toast. You could do without the bread, but if you have bread or a bun, or if you can eat bread, I suggest that is toasted and topped with, I have served these with guacamole. If you have some fresh avocado, if you have the ability to get that, these are delicious, delicious with sliced tomato and avocado, or guacamole. And if not, which I don't have avocados right now, I happen to have some hummus. I just spread the hummus right on that toast. And with it, the peppers, I'm gonna grab, I gotta hold, that's cold enough, it's cold, okay. That's not gonna burn me. These are gorgeous. They took about the same amount of time as the black bean burgers, so getting them in there at the same time was okay. I was worried these would take a little bit longer, but at $3.75, they are ready to go at the same time the burgers are. So we're gonna grab our, you can eat these just like this, but I like to slice them and have them nicely presented on the toast. So just slice that open. They're nice and soft. So you can take the time to take the seeds out of these, but I mean, these are pretty, for me, they're not an issue, the seeds. Everything is pretty easy to digest and stuff, and they're sweet. So I like to do a little bit of that. If you don't have the black bean burgers, this by itself is also a delicious sandwich. Just the roasted peppers, the hummus, and the salad. It's a delicious, healthy, and vegan sandwich. I'm going kind of quickly. Normally I would kind of make these a little bit prettier, but they taste good no matter how you slice them and dice them. They taste good. So just get them on there. Look at that. That's beautiful color. So now we've got our little hummus and mixed sweet pepper, roasted peppers. And then we can serve our burger right on top of that. And then you can top this or serve it open-faced. You can throw your salad on and have that ready to go. Or you can serve your salad on the side. And now we're ready to dress our salad, because again, we wait to the last minute to dress our salad. And if you have tomato in your salad, that would be good, or little broccoli florets, anything to, again, increase that nutritional value. And then a splash of our apple cider vinegar. I just pour it right on in. I'm kind of heavy-handed on the apple cider vinegar. I love it. And, I don't have to refrigerate it. I can keep it in the pantry. I buy lots of them at one time, and it's so healthy. Then just get your salad all mixed up. And then we're going to serve that right alongside on our plate. The heavy stuff tends to fall to the bottom, so make sure you mix it well. And if you're serving other people, make sure you dip from that bottom so they don't miss out on those nuts and fruits that want to sink down to the bottom of your bowl. All right, here we go. And if you have fresh garlic to mince and mix that in your apple cider vinegar, oh, that is so good. And if you haven't eaten fresh garlic, just like fresh, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but you then start to crave it. Like I've craved fresh garlic now in my salads and the red onion. It's crazy. It's amazing what your palate will do when you start introducing new things to it and taking out some of the unhealthy. You actually start to like the more healthier items, so it's fun. I've had a lot of fun with changing our diet in this household. All right, so this is our beautiful salad, and our black bean burger on the roasted peppers and hummus open-faced toasted sandwich. Delicious. And this is all vegan, by the way, and I can get my kids to eat it. It's wonderful. Of course, if they want something on the side, they get it. But, oh, cheese. Now that's what takes it from not being vegan. My kids have to have cheese. So let me tell you about the cheese that we like to use. All right, so this, if you're going vegan, this is my favorite cheese. It's plant-based, it is cashew-based, so it doesn't work for people with cashew allergies, but if you don't have a cashew allergy, I dare you to try this and not think that it is just amazing. So I gotta tell you, my Italian husband, and I mean Italian as in from Italy, Italian, original Italian, loves this plant-based cheese alternative. He loves it. We were both shocked because cheese is like formaggio, it's so important. And then the kids, I'll just grab some fun sliced cheese that they like and put that right on top as well. Otherwise, we go with the vegan or none at all, because with the guacamole or the hummus or any kind of dip that you like, you really don't need the cheese. But this is our sandwich, this is our lunch, completely healthy, lots of nutrition on this plate. Stay healthy, America. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time and buon appetito.